Welcome to Accent on Education. My name is Laura Hoover, Culpeper County Public Schools Director of Communication. In today's episode, we will be learning about Culpeper County Public Schools' newest lab school, the Future Educators Academy. In this program, our students are being prepared to be the next generation of teachers right here in our community and beyond. Today, we will have Michelle Metzgar speaking with our superintendent, Dr. Tony Brads, to learn about how the program started, and also the director of the program, Mary Beth Dodson, will give us an inside look to the day-to-day details of the program. We'll also have an opportunity to hear from students and teachers who are a part of the Future Educators Academy.
I'm Michelle Metzgar. I'm the Executive Director of Human Resources for Culpeper County Public Schools. It's my pleasure today to introduce to you one of our guests, Dr. Tony Brads. He's the Division Superintendent. He has been in Culpeper now, this is starting year 11, and we're going to talk a little bit today about teachers, and we're going to talk about a wonderful new lab school that we have, which is called the Future Educators Academy. Dr. Brads, tell us about how this all started.
Well, first of all, thank you, Michelle, for inviting me to chat a little bit about our lab school, Future Educators Academy, and really go back a little bit in history to say, why do we need a lab school dedicated to teacher education and training? I would first and foremost say that Culpeper County Public Schools, in large part, thank you to you and your department. We do a great job with respect to filling our vacancies that occur each year. But it is a known fact that there's a teacher shortage, particularly in the Commonwealth. In fact, each year, the Department of Education puts out its list of top 10 areas of high need, high demand areas. It's called critical shortage area. So with that always in play, and from time to time, us having some difficulty with certain positions, we have always looked at opportunities where we had a chance to grow your own. So with that, I would say something interesting happened with the 2022 session of the General Assembly. And in that session, the governor promoted the notion of having in the budget, in the spending plan for that upcoming fiscal year, and actually the biennium, and to be perpetuated on until the funds ran out, was this notion of supporting college laboratory partnership schools with K-12, higher ed, and for the purpose of doing innovative things with public schools and higher education. So when that came out, that was $100 million funding for that program. That was approved in that session, in the spring session of 2022. Like most things, it took a while for that process to be fully refined in terms of what the application process might look like. So my memory is somewhere about late August of that year, 2022. We participated in an information session about the lab school program opportunity in general. Literally, I participated in that Zoom call about the information and took in the information. They had some handouts as well. But immediately it struck me that, wait a minute, we're doing a number of fantastic things in Culpeper, many fantastic things. But this notion of us building a more robust, or a very robust, grow your own program, this could fit that mode. Knowing of the success that we had with Germana Scholars, knowing that we have participation of both of our high school with the student access to Governor School, we know that a student can earn an associate's degree in high school if we carefully prepare the curriculum for high school graduation and for the associate's degree. So my immediate thought on that process upon hearing this was, why not go in the direction of having an associate's degree in education, through Germana Community College, and then that could be the head start for getting students into the classrooms. Do it in a regional format, as was promoted by the information in the call that we received in the early fall of 2022. But from there, it was just a matter of reaching out to some colleagues saying, what do you think of this idea? I immediately called my friend and colleague, Dr. Shannon Grimsley over in Rappahannock. She thought it was a good idea. Interesting in calling Dr. Grimsley was the notion that she is served by a different service area. That's Laurel Ridge Community College, not Germanna. Hence, that started the process of having Laurel Ridge and Germanna also interested. After some regional superintendents, meaning Rappahannock, Orange, and Madison, we got together, thought this was a good idea. Our next step was to reach out to the presidents of Germanna at the time, Dr. Gullickson and Dr. Blosser at Laurel Ridge, to say, what do you think about this? They were all incredibly on board. I think my math is right on this, and that it was just recently that Germanna had established their education associate's degree. And so from there, we thought this could be a great opportunity to apply for the lab school.
So it sounds like the lab school, from my perspective at least, has been vital for us, because we do focus in Culpeper on grow your own programs. We work a lot of times with our paraeducators to get them into our Pathways program. But now that we have kids in our schools, getting them back to Culpeper has been integral. Is the lab school concept, it's fairly new. So in Virginia, how hard was it to get the program started?
I think without the funding from the General Assembly, again promoted by the governor, it would have been very difficult, because it's an expensive proposition to be able to provide at no expense this dual enrollment / associate's degree in education. So that's a key, and I didn't say that in the other. The other information was that part of this process of developing the lab school was that our students who are selected to participate, who qualify to participate, interested in participating, they're going to earn their associate's degree without charge, and that's fantastic. With the grant help, preliminary grant for the application, and then for startup, and then subsequently being funded, which we had our contingent go down to Richmond in November of 2023 to get approval to start for the 24-25 school year. We're in year 2. Yes, it was difficult, but we hired some great people to get it going, and blazed the trail for us. But I would say a few things on that front. Number one, we were the second lab school approved, and I'd like to say we were really the first, because the first lab school was a continuation of Code RVA in Richmond area, which already existed. So the first true new concept of a lab school was ours. So I say that. And I did tell the State Board of Education when we introduced it that it would be the best lab school proposal they've ever heard. So I had to say that. And I still believe that. But part of that reason I say that is that this notion for all of our 23 community colleges across the Commonwealth, this program, now that we figured it out, could be generalizable across the Commonwealth, so that high school students across all 131 school divisions who have access to their service area community colleges, if they have access to an associate's degree in education, they can start their process by being able to do those 2 years in high school and then finish their teaching degree with 2 more years. I kind of quipped and called it 2+2. I don't think we are formally calling it 2+2 anywhere, but that's how it's supposed to work. And we're very excited about it. Yes, it was difficult. The funding tremendously helped. I will say on that front, we will have to figure out an off-ramp to continue funding going forward. But I think that that will be, frankly, not an easy sell, but not a difficult sell either, because we will be able to demonstrate the success of the programs and of our students as they transition to their 4-year programs. And then the goal is that they come back and teach within those school divisions. So that's the exciting part.
Well, I think it's exciting because you have everybody involved, the school systems, the community colleges, the students, all of us are benefiting from the program. So do you see moving forward that we are going to be able to expand some of those concepts around here?
Absolutely. I believe the lab school concept can benefit us in many ways. In fact, recently we have worked with UVA Health here in Culpeper, along with the Claude Moore Foundation, regarding preparing students for careers in the health sciences. And to that end, with some, we'll say it this way, grant funds still on the table, we are looking at the possibility of applying for an additional lab school that has a similar structure, centered around an associate's degree in health sciences to help that segment of our area, our workforce. We know there's a need for teachers, but we also know there's a need for healthcare. So this concept, pending funding, pending low-cost access, preferably no-cost access for our students and families, I think the sky's the limit on developing specific programs to meet not just the educational need, but more importantly, the workforce need.
Absolutely. I think that it's vital, like I said, for us seeing these students come back, hopefully in a couple of years from now, that we're going to get these first-year students back. We'll be able to get them teaching in their community. And we always talk about bringing community back and how Culpeper is small town, big family feel. So it's exciting. So Dr. Brads, thank you for bringing that up. Is there anything else you want to add about the lab school that we didn't talk about?
Absolutely. People matter, right?
We know that.
And we were very fortunate to find a director in Mary Beth Dodson, and she has just done a phenomenal job learning about how actually to function as a school, meaning not just a lab school, but she's had to do state reporting, conquer some licensure issues. Our staff has been very helpful in that process, but she has done a fantastic job in terms of helping build our board agendas, educating the participating divisions, helping with our students and their transition to rigorous work and then their internships back in the schools. She's just done a phenomenal job. Luckily, she had her assistant added this year, so that's helped her with her workload, probably in a very timely fashion because we expanded our lab school opportunity to Laurel Ridge this school year. So the first cohort of Laurel Ridge started this year, and I'm sure she'll be able to expand on that. But that started this year, and we're in our second cohort, so our seniors are in year 2 of their program, and we started yet another Culpeper cohort. So we have 3 cohorts running right now, which is phenomenal. And if all goes as planned, with that leadership at the lab school and hopefully successful leadership at the lab school with Laurel Ridge, that will continue to grow and flourish. And using that example, perhaps we'll be fortunate enough to receive the grant for the notion of doing a similar program with health sciences.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure having you today, and we appreciate all the information that you've given us. The things that you've done for the community, for the school system, are amazing, and we're excited about all the things to come.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do, and thanks for having me today.
So when we come back, we're going to talk to Mary Beth Dodson. Mary Beth is the Future Educators Academy coordinator that Dr. Brads was referencing. And in the meantime, hopefully you'll get to see a little bit of our students and our staff and how they're flourishing in our program.
Future Educators Academy is a program that's designed to train teachers for the future, right? It's designed for students who've identified an interest in becoming educators in K-12 environment to get a leg up on that pathway to becoming a teacher. It provides quality education for your general education courses, but it also has an emphasis on education and teaching, and it is a wonderful pathway for transfer with our other partners to get students to the 4-year, have them complete, and become teachers. And along the way, they get to learn about themselves, they get to hone important skills, critical thinking, analytical writing, communication, civic engagement, and they get the opportunity to learn not just from professors, but from the administrators and staff who support this program on becoming young adults who are prepared for the profession and for being citizens who contribute.
I realized in first grade that I wanted to become a teacher. I've always known I've wanted to become a teacher. I've never really changed that path in my life. Like, that's always been my goal, go to college and become a teacher. And I think it was my first grade teacher who really set that into my mind that I wanted to be a teacher.
Because a lot of the women in my family are teachers, and so I knew that's kind of what I wanted to do.
So I kind of just knew, like, since I was little, my aunt wanted to be a teacher, and then it kind of inspired me because I never really had any great teachers, and I just want to, like, make a difference in the world and, like, give love to, like all kids.
It's been, in my opinion, a astounding success. We had a very excellent first cohort who I will remember until my retirement and then some. I've got the second cohort this semester. It's going, or this year, academic year, and it's going very well. I think personally the program is, again, meeting a tremendous need, right, statewide. It's an opportunity for Germanna to really provide, again, a pipeline, a pathway to meet that need. And it's something that I think can grow from county to county. I mean, I can't think of a single county, including Fredericksburg City, that doesn't need great qualified teachers with some experience and commitment to their local region, right?
I think that's really important because, I mean, we have this grant, so we get this for free, and so being able to give back to the community that let me take these classes and stuff is really important.
I think it's important because we need teachers. We need good teachers who actually like kids.
I think giving back to my community in the teaching aspect is very important too, because the teaching crisis right now, we are very low in teachers, especially in our county right now. So I think giving back and becoming a teacher is very low on the scale of people want to do, and with me being able to do it, I feel like I'm contributing to maybe making a difference in our teaching crisis right now, and maybe just, I know all of my girls in my program feel that way too, like us coming back for those 2 years doesn't just mean like we're gonna leave after 2 years. Some of us do want to stay in our home counties and help a lot more, but I think it is us all coming back as helping our community.
We know we have a massive teacher shortage, right? The profession takes a great deal of time, right, to become prepared. There's licensure, things like that. There's a lot of steps that a student needs to be able to complete successfully to become a teacher at the K through 12 level. This provided students an opportunity to one, speed up that process, right, and two, provide a pathway, a route, a pipeline, if you will, for students to be able to go back to their local communities and teach, right? So it was really a win-win situation, not just for our college and for our students, but for our community partners. So from my perspective, it was a program that met a clear, direct need that we have.
It's definitely a lot harder than I expected it to be.
I've had a lot of different experiences, all good. One experience that I think really changed me was the speech I did at our open house last year. I took a public speaking course and it really broke me out of my shell when it came to public speaking, and I had a speech written and I kind of just pushed it to the side, and I was able to talk in front of I think at least 80 people and really not stutter or do anything, and I felt very warm and welcomed in that aspect, and I was like, okay, this is something I can do. I can speak in front of a bunch of people, and that really opened my confidence level up a lot.
Probably how diverse the classrooms are and how there's so many different learning styles and how everybody just learns differently.
The education classes that we have specifically, we have such a small group of students. I think we only have 17 or 16 students in my class now. And so being able to, your professors know you very well. You can go to them whenever you need, and then you can talk to all of your classmates very well. So you can talk to all of them about your classes. And then just the discussions that we have in class with the professors and the students really are that makes it the most interesting.
They become young adult college students almost over the course of that first semester. And you can kind of watch them transition into that right before your eyes. The best part is usually by the end of that spring semester, you start to see them develop their own areas of interest. You start to see them achieve great successes. We had students who have won statewide poetry contests and other things where they really start to recognize not just their interest in teaching, but the areas and the strengths that they have, areas of interest and strengths that they have in teaching. And they put those on display for the public and for the program, and it gives them more confidence as they move forward.
I used to be very shy, but once I joined this program, and I have become so much more social and confident in myself. I used to be so quiet, and now I feel like I've just grown a lot.
I think I've become more empathetic for people, learning different cultures in class, during my education classes specifically, and why people act differently than maybe I do.
I think I've gained a lot of leadership skills. I came into this very shy, and I always do my own thing. I'm not very I don't like to help other people sometimes when it comes to what I'm doing, but I think my leadership skills have really kicked in, and I'm more willing to help anyone who asks me. I take the opportunity to if someone needs me to do something, do another speech, run something, I'm the first to jump at that opportunity, and I like running things. Maybe that can be a little bossy sometimes, but I do enjoy working in groups and gaining more leadership skills.
each one of them have their own individual goals within the field of education, right? In K through 12, they have different disciplines they're interested in teaching, different grade levels they're interested in teaching. Some of them have interest in counseling and becoming administrators, right? And having a group of people committed to the broader discipline of education, having that kind of unified purpose in a class. And then you see the bond develop between students in a class, a cohort of pushing each other, of helping each other kind of get through work that sometimes doesn't seem directly connected to that common goal, right? Because that's part of the general education. But then also celebrating each other's successes and in many cases, you know, the stresses and difficulties that they face, the support systems that they have. You see that in cohort models, but I really did think that was unique in the group that I saw in this first year cohort. Their ability to kind of mesh and become a kind of a unified team towards many different goals, but one big goal, right?
It really creates a community. I have met so many girls that really have opened my eyes, especially with teaching and giving me so many different viewpoints on the world at the moment, and like just gaining a community. Like everybody in my program, we all get along. We have made friends with even the juniors coming in. Like we came in all very shy, but in like a week we were all best friends. Like we all have a huge group chat that we text in every single day. We talk to each other all the time. I think the community is what I came in and found was the most surprising, but also like when you're learning from your teachers, you're also learning from the people around you too. Like we all have had different experiences in education and throughout our years being in school, and so sharing those experiences really opened all of our eyes to new views.
It was great to see some of the students and the staff hard at work in year 2 of the program, and looking forward to seeing such wonderful things to come from them. So now we have Mary Beth with us, and Mary Beth holds a little special place in my heart because many years ago I hired Mary Beth as a teacher at Emerald Hill in 1st grade. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her experiences and why she is the perfect candidate for this role.
Thank you, Michelle. That is true. I started many moons ago now as a 1st grade teacher at Emerald Hill, working with Michelle and Renee Wooten, and it was a wonderful start to my teaching career. And I very often reference that because they supported me and showed me what true leadership is and taught me what it was like to be a real teacher. And it's not just showing up day to day, but it's also being there for your students and loving your students and supporting them and their families. So I started at Emerald Hill as a 1st grade teacher. I was able to loop with one special class and taught 2nd grade for 1 year, which was amazing. If you ever get that opportunity as a teacher, I tell everyone to take it. And then I went and I did some time in middle school. Michelle always told me I would be a good middle school teacher. I didn't believe it until
You're a great teacher at any level.
And it was wonderful. I taught math and science and English in 6th grade. And that's the beauty that I keep telling the students is our license covers kindergarten through 6th grade. So you really do get a lot of chances to teach different age groups. From there, I worked as a math interventionist and wrote some curriculum for Madison County, and I also worked in their after-school program. We ran a Mad Explorers with some of our ESSER funds during COVID. And then I went and I was an assistant principal in Buckingham County as a middle school, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the students. I loved the families, the staff. Everything about it was fantastic. And then I heard about this.
And how did you hear about this?
I heard about this, actually, Anna Graham from Madison. She was like, Mary Beth, this is available. You should just apply. And I was like, Anna, I haven't been doing this long enough. I'm not sure. Mary Beth, this is your job. It'd be perfect. So I applied and went through the process, and it was a process. It was 3 months of an interview process. And when I got the job, I was thinking, okay, this is great. You know, it's going to be fantastic. And it is. I am able to pour into students what you all poured into me. And that has made the biggest difference, is you pull from all the experiences you've had as a teacher and give back. And I tell the students all the time, I wasn't perfect, so I'm going to tell you all of my mistakes.
Nobody's
so that you can do better than I did. And that's the goal, is we want to make sure that our schools are better.
That's
and
right.
we're leaving them in a better place than we started.
I was so excited when I saw the announcement because I did not know that she had applied, and I immediately went to Dr. Brads and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best ever." And I said, "Make sure you take care of her because she will do a fabulous job." So people want to know, tell us about how the kids get into the program and what it looks like them from for their 2 years in high school.
So our students they apply as 10th graders, and they're allowed to apply. We try to keep it as open as we possibly can. To take dual enrollment classes, you have to have a 3.0. However, we let them take the Virginia placement test as well. Okay. Because some kids could have messed up in a class or two, and we don't want to hold that against them. The whole idea is that we have open doors to everyone. And rather than choosing a typical application process where we look at an essay or a recommendation, it's a lottery process. Oh. Virginia lab schools all have to use a lottery process. We have 24 seats available, and if we exceed that, we have to hold a lottery. If we haven't exceeded that, which we haven't yet, so we haven't had to go through that. But it's wonderful because then you get students from all walks of life too, and you're not just handpicking students, and it makes it really special. The diversity that we're able to have within the program.
So it's not just Culpeper. What are the other counties? Who are the other counties that are part of this?
Right now in our cohort at Germanna, we have Culpeper, Madison, Orange, Rappahannock, and Fauquier.
So it's a nice group. We're getting kids, and I know a lot of those kids are coming to Culpeper schools for experiences working with our teachers and our students, which to me is fantastic.
And I think that's the biggest benefit that we didn't think would happen is we keep thinking about when they come back to teach, but we weren't thinking about, what about when they're here and the help that they're giving the teachers, the learning experiences they're gaining now that can help them build on their education when they're in the classes at their 4-year. We've set them up for success that other students in the same situation don't have. They don't have this experience. And we've had so much positive feedback from the teachers that these students are working with where they're just happy to have them and telling me they're way more than what I expected. They're running my small groups. They're reading books to students. They are able to, run morning meetings for me. And that's what this is all about.
Right. Hands-on experience.
Hands-on and getting them in that classroom.
And I will say, we have rock star teachers. I mean, honestly, we have some teachers that just go above and beyond every single day. And it's exciting for them to be part of this pipeline, to see them in a few years, hopefully come back and teach with them.
Well, basically, they're training their coworkers.
Yes, they are.
So if you want a really good new teacher, you're getting the input right now.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so students then, year one, what does year one look like for them?
Year one, they have, they'll be in a practicum placement from day 2 of school, and then they'll continue through that practicum for the fall semester. When they come back from Christmas break, they'll have a new practicum teacher. So they'll get multiple experiences in multiple grade levels. Ideally, we'll have 4 different grades per student.
Okay.
So that really gets them through all of the elementary ages. And they take classes in the mornings from 8 to 10:30 over at the Daniel Technology Center. And from there, they go back to their high school and have a normal day as a high school student. So these students are taking 5 college courses every semester on top of their high school course loads.
It's crazy. And it sounds like they're loving it.
They are successful, and they're loving it, and they are prioritizing what's important and learning to make some of those time management decisions and organizational skills that you need as a teacher.
Right. So what do you think, Mary Beth, from your perspective, what has been the biggest challenge? I know Dr. Brads talked about getting funding, but obviously student side successful. What are the challenges that you're facing, you think?
Dr. Brads said it the best. VDOE has been very challenging in the ways of licensure right now, but also the plane wasn't exactly built when we started. It was a process that really we had to build on our own, and with being the first true lab school, like he said, we were kind of the pioneer. And other schools started calling us and saying, Mary Beth, how are you doing this? Or what does your day look like for this? And we've been able to share within the community of new lab schools across the Commonwealth. We are all in this cohort with Old Dominion University. They have the Center for Education and Innovation Opportunity. And they pull us all together. And we have these really great chats of what's working, what's not, and really good think tanks so that when we come together, we're solving problems. We're not complaining. And that's key. Exactly. And that is one of those things in education that we all know that it can be negative. And the positive around the lab school, the whole idea is we're supporting our public schools. It's not an us versus them. And I think that's what some people get confused with at times.
Right.
It is, we want to support our public schools because we are a public school. Lab schools are public schools.
Yes,
I have to report all of the same data, all of the same measures. We are still held accountable and under the same standards as your schools are.
So when students finish 2 years in the program, they will graduate high school and graduate with an associate's degree.
Correct.
In
education.
So after that, they have 2 more years, hopefully. Tell us about what that would look like for them.
So we have been making agreements across the Commonwealth with 10, right now we're in talks with 10 or have signed agreements with 10 universities across the Commonwealth, so they get to choose where they want to go. And they will transfer directly into their schools of education. So they get to skip some of the extra, however they apply as freshmen, so they still get those scholarships that they would need.
No, that's good.
Right. And so then they'll spend their 2 years there, graduate, and come back to their school home divisions, exactly, so that they can teach. One of the coolest things that we've been able to experience, if we've had people come out of the woodwork in some of these conversations, and VCU has recently come to us and they said, we have this teacher residency program. Do you think your divisions would be interested? And so, of course, I get you all on the phone.
Did.
Like, hey, I've got this really good opportunity. And they are going to sponsor 2 students. And those students can then take their courses virtually, but they'll work in the classroom still. So the student not only started working in the classroom in high school with your teachers as practicum students, the whole time they will be trained by your schools.
And that's what we want.
Isn't that awesome?
We want to build from within.
Homegrown.
And now it truly is. I mean, from middle school, wanting to be a teacher, going into high school and taking advantage.
Absolutely. And not only do they sponsor the 2 students, they help to sponsor the mentors for those students and support them on those trainings to make those students successful.
Yes, we're very excited to work with VCU on that. So what's your favorite thing about lab school?
What's my favorite? I think my favorite is when the students really have their aha moments and they come back and they tell me, you were right. That's exactly what we learned in class. It was just like that. Or they'll say, I was wondering why the teacher did this, but then now that you've explained it in class, I see the difference in, the development of children. And we talk about what ages it's appropriate to teach what subjects and what concepts. And they really have grasped it. And several students in the last week, we've been talking about differentiation really extensively with our junior and senior cohorts in their classes, have said, if someone would have taught me that way, I think I would have got it.
Oh, wow.
And so that was special. But the other side is I've had several students that were my students now.
That's
and they'll come back and they'll say, I remember in your class when, and that blesses my heart. It's so sweet.
So moving ahead, is there anything you want to say to people in Culpeper or to students who are out there? Why should we come to the lab school?
If you want to be a teacher, this is the place to be.
Absolutely.
For sure. It has the support, the community, the cohort in general provides a community where everyone is like-minded, seeking the same goal and the same opportunities. So we really are building, I like to say we're breaking down walls or getting out of the silos, because now, Michelle, our students here in Culpeper can call Rappahannock when they're in a classroom and say, hey, you're teaching 2nd grade and I'm teaching 2nd grade. I just taught this lesson and it flopped. What did you do?
Right. The connections
are so strong. And I think that's one of the best parts, that students we knew it could happen, but organically it happened so strong that it's been very fun to watch.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for coming today. It was a pleasure. I mean, I'm so pleased with our collaboration, and you in this role is just absolutely perfect. So
I am so thankful for Culpeper County Schools. Oh my goodness. The amounts of times that I've been able to call one of you and say, how do you all report this? Or how should I, structure or just be a sounding board when I need to have someone listen of, this is a crazy idea, but. And you all have been so supportive. And Dr. Brads has been amazing. He serves as the chair of our governing board for our lab school. And he's really helped to pioneer the spirit of this is really good for our communities.
Well, we will have you back in a few years once we start getting these kids through and they're coming back as teachers. And we just appreciate you coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Accent on Education. If you would like to learn more about the Future Educators Academy, or if you're a student who's interested in enrolling, talk to the counselor at your school. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.